Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at building our book app to be able to work with data. So external file data is how we are going to add some permanence to our program. After we add books, we want to be able to load them, store them, close the app, and have them there when we open the app again. So we're going to tackle that first by building our load data function. We are going to use CSV files to load the data. That is not the most common way to store data, but it is a very simple and easy way without introducing too much new content, and it's far easier to understand. So we're going to store our data with a CSV file, and let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is create that function. So our function here is going to be load book data with no return type. Next, let's do a try catch block, just because there's good potential for this program to break. So I would generally recommend a try catch block if your program has that possibility. Next, we want to explore the file path to our CSV file that's going to store our data. Here we are generating the path. I'm storing my data in a folder called files on my project directory. This is where I'm storing mine. And I'm going to show it right here. So we click this little folder and it shows where our files are in the project. And then here we have our CSV file that's going to store our data. Here I put in some common books. We got a few common titles here that should be familiar, just to have something load into our project. So this is my file folder structure. I'm going to switch back to the Solution Explorer. Some of the key notes about this, we have title, author, book genre, and then we have our comma separated values. That's what CSV stands for here. And notice there's no spaces between the commas. The commas are going to go away too once we use our split function. And notice how we're starting on a new line here. These are important details when we're formatting this file. So here we have file path. Next we need a streamReader to read the file. Open file path. So now we have our streamReader connection to our file. Now we want to develop some of the logic that we're going to use to read the CSV file here. So some of that logic would go as such: while input file is not end of stream. So this will keep reading the CSV file till we reach the end of it. Now, We need to ignore this first row, otherwise that data is going to get pulled in. That can be done a couple of different ways. We could just do input file read line and just read that first line before we start actually performing any of the population of our drop down here. If we just read that first line, then we'll be starting on that second line. So that's an easy way to skip this first line. You could also build some logic that stores a Boolean and tells you if you've already read that first line. That's another way to go about it. I'm gonna leave this for now. This is a simple enough way. And so now we're gonna enter our while loop here and then just keep reading until we reach end of file. So it's gonna read this line now. And now we want to perform what we do with the data after we read it. So we have our CSV fields here. And we're going to use that line and we're going to split it on this comma here. So now we have a string array of our CSV fields. So that's going to be, the first one will be title, the second array element will be author, the third will be book genre. So we have an array of size 3 here. And we're just going to directly assign these to variables for simplicity and readability. This last one, we need to be a little bit clever about how we read it because it's an enum. So we are using the enum parse function that we talked about previously. Check out the previous video if you need a little bit of an update on how that works. But I'm going to continue with the example and not go into too much detail here. Next, we will start using our other data structures or other important elements of our program here, the dictionary, the struct. So first thing we want to do is create that book struct. We have a new book here. Although I would say a better variable name would probably be just book data. And then here we're just going to bring these values in to a book struct. So title is the name of our struct here. There we go. Cool, we can still see both. So we got to populate those 3 fields of the struct. We have title, we have author with a capital, and lowercase is the string down here. So we're assigning to this. We need semicolon at the end of that struct, and then the genre. Book genre equals the genre here. So now we have our book struct. Now we want to use the dictionary, add that to the dictionary. Now that we have our book, we can add book data to it. we need to add the title, the key, and the key in the book, right? We want to add the key and the value, the string and the book. And then last, we are going to add this to the combo box, the book list combo box. Items, add, and we are adding this title because that's our key, which allows us to read it backwards as well. And this is what we repeat until we reach end of file. Once we reach end of file, we will close the file and put file close. And this should collect all the data, populate the list box, the combo box, and the book collection dictionary that we're holding behind the scenes. That stores all of our data. And then we can add a little bit of logic here to just display the error message. I just copied and pasted it. And let's put the exception in there too. Perfect. And now the last thing we need to do, which is really simple, is just put this in our constructor here. I actually want to build really quick a new constructor that is a little more specific to our app here. I'm going to pull these, which are very closely related to the book data. I'm going to pull them in here, and then we're going to run that here just for a little bit of cleaner, more organized code. So let's run this file, and then when we run it, we should see our book list populated. Oh, I have a typo in my app. Need this right here. And now we have our book list. And all our previous functionality still works. Get a long list of all our books here. So yeah, perfect. That worked exactly as intended. So that's all for now. And thanks for watching. Next, we'll look at how to save to the CSV file. But yeah, this creates a nice permanent way to store our data so that any changes we make to our app, we get to see the next time we open up the app. Creates a little bit of object permanence, as maybe a psychology major might describe it. Something that exists after we have built it. So that's all we're going to cover today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.